Hi
Hello guys,
guys.
welcome to Real Black Love with Sims and Bongs, your
Yebo.
beautiful couple.
Awi, tell us.
Thank you so much for joining us for today's episode. And thank you so much if you are here for the first time and you would like to join the family. It's easy. Just click the subscribe button down below and become part of the RBL Squad.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, let's get into today's topic. Yeah.
Don't let the third party in. Guys, here's the backstory, right? So, there's a series, well, a telenovela that we like to watch, Gomorrah. And so, what had happened is that there's a guy called Svoga who is dating this woman. They've been together for like probably assuming about 18 years because their child is
Yeah.
now in grade 11 or matric, somewhere there. And so apparently he cheated. Well, he confessed to cheating when the lady was pregnant with the child. That's like
And the
17
child
years
is like
ago.
17, yeah.
And so she got angry, understandably, because she felt like at that period when she was suspecting that he wasn't present and so on, he made her feel like she's gone crazy, like she's nuts. There's no such thing. All right. Then that had an emotional toll on her at that time. But she let go. It's like, okay, she never found any evidence of it.
Yeah.
And the guy has been good since then. So it's 17 years later or so. And this guy ends up confessing, I think. Or did she find
Yeah, it
out?
just ends up coming up,
Yeah.
basically,
It
yeah.
came out and now she's angry. Like seriously angry. What she does is that she goes and tells her mother that he cheated 17 years ago. And she wants to break up with him because of that, blah, 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 blah. Now, the mother had always had issues with the guy because he's unemployed. I don't know where he comes from, but he stays with the family and so on. So he seems like this guy who does not have drive or
A plan.
ambitions or whatever, you know. So the mother has issues with him because of that. He just thinks that he's not the right guy for her daughter. But the problem is now that when her daughter comes with these news that actually occurred 17 years ago, it adds on to the image and the feelings that she has of him.
It fuels up
Yes.
not the hate, but the dislike and the feeling like you don't deserve my daughter type of thing. So it adds to that energy. And then after they sort that out, so the couple, Pretty and Sbonga, and Pretty now forgives the guy, and the guy decides, I'm gonna do right by you and propose to you and marry you. Pretty has moved on and life
She's
is
happy.
good. They are back together, they're happy. But now the mom, his mom, is
No,
still
her mom.
holding, oh, her mom, yes, is still holding on to this thing that she was told about the guy cheating. And she now uses that as a weapon to come back to her and say, how can you be with this guy? How can you stay with him? If he did that back then, he can still do it type of thing. He's just a man. This is just how men are, you know? So it started a conversation between us to say, do we really need to let people in, into our relationship? Where do we draw the line?
Yeah.
Who do we not let in at all? For instance, in this case, it was family, Where do we draw the line?
I think we shouldn't. I mean, it's hard to say, but I think we should never allow people to know too much or to know enough to have an opinion that could implant bad thoughts in your mind. So we should never allow people to know too much to a point where they know about our business and they can form opinions about our business. We can't I don't know any better way of saying that's like there's a certain line. I think the line is about how much do you share, and about what, because what you need to understand is that you're in a relationship with the person that you're with, and the people that you relate your story to, what is happening in the relationship to, will always be people who are biased. They always have your interests,
Pick a side,
in mind more than the person that I'm speaking of, unless in some cases that I am coming with a story that shows that I'm actually in the wrong. That they would probably say, but I know it's you, it's not really him or her, So, but in most cases, they will be for you. They will side with
People
you.
always
They
side
will
with their
understand, and then there will be this picture that they have about your partner. Now, when you move on, things remain for them because you guys managed to fix things, but they are still held on to what had happened and to the image that they have created of you in their minds.
And at the end of the day, we always have to be accountable for our own actions and for giving people an impression that it's okay for me to get into their business, right? Because if we are the ones who are opening the door, then we shouldn't be surprised when people feel like they have a voice. And what I was also saying is that, especially with family, with family and friends as well, it's very important for us to know and understand that your friends will never perceive your man as you perceive your man. Your family will never perceive or receive you as I know you to be, because they are not in a relationship with you. They may have an idea of the kind of person that you are, but they don't know you as much as I know you. So if you have done something wrong and you have made me angry or you've just offended me, whatever the case is, I can be able to see past that. I can be able to say, no, but when I look at the overall picture, Bongani is not a bad person, because I've seen you in many instances. We've been through a lot together, but they haven't. So whatever that I tell them, they're going to take that and use that to build their case on you, because they are not exposed to who you really are. So it's easy for me to wake up the next day and be like, I forgive him because I know the person that he is. But I cannot expect them, the family or the people that I've told, to be as forgiving, because they just don't know you. You understand? And from that time going further, their judgment of you will be based on your flaws and the things that I've exposed you. How do I put this?
You've exposed them. You've exposed them
to about you. You guys get it. So it's important for us to see our role, that we have to protect each other. We have to protect how people see you. I have to protect how my family, how my friends see you. And I can't disclose everything that is flawed about you.
Yeah, because when you do that, you are literally... The thing is, you go to your family or you go to your friends and you say, yo, I met this person, yo, and you mention all the things that you like about the person, right? Somewhere in our minds, we have this score of 10. Like, because you're going to mention all of those things that you like. Remember, when the relationship starts, the things that you see the most are the good things, are the right things. His teeth are straight or whatever, his eyes are, But later on you realize, no, man, his ear, this one is, and his nose and his high, man, and his toes and, his walk.
Yeah.
So you start to see other stuff, but you hardly tell us about those things, to say, yeah, well, he's nice and but at the same time, so we always just know this side.
The good.
Right?
Yeah.
Now, the minute after a while that you come with these things, these ones start to diminish in our minds. We don't care so much. Now we start to dwell on these little things.
And
right?
magnify them. Because
And
whatever you
magnify
give
them.
attention to, it grows.
Yes.
So if you guys keep pointing the fact that, that day, that starts feeding this thing in my head that ends up even changing how I see you, because that is what all we talk about.
Yeah.
And that is why I'm saying that keep the relationship away.
But at the same time, how much do you value the voice of your friends over your relationship and over your life in general? Do you value it to a point where, maybe value is not the right word, but does it count so much that it overpowers, or it comes up on top of yours? And the one, maybe, let's say, if you're just talking about perception, does it end up becoming the perception over the perception that you've always had? Does it count that much?
Remember, I don't think it's about how much it counts. I think it's about how much power a word has. It doesn't matter where this word comes from. So even if my friends say negative things or my family say negative things and I decide to disregard them at the time, the power of the word still stands. There's going to be a time where this thing is growing unconsciously in my head that they said, at the time I didn't pay mind to them, that they said, no, but this guy is a loser, But over time, there are certain things that I start to thinking that they come from me. They come from the seed that was planted by their words, because I believe that words carry so much power. Yeah.
That's true.
So it's important for us to guard the things we listen to, as well as what we put out there to people. Yeah.
And now there's this thing that often happens quite automatically, where, well, not automatically, at least for some, I can't say most or least, where when people get married, they suddenly feel like it's okay to involve family. And with that, can you really draw the line?
I find
Where
that
do
I
you
find
draw
that
it?
very problematic. I've always found it problematic. Growing up, hearing that there's a family meetings for problematic couples in the family. So if it's my uncle and my aunt, they'll be called to the table. Now the whole family is involved in discussing the matter, in discussing the fact that my uncle wants a divorce, and now the whole family is getting involved to try to sort that out. I understand the good intentions, but I feel like it doesn't always work, in that family is not always objective. Family will most likely choose a side, pick a side, whether it's their son who is always right or their daughter who's always right, or who they excuse certain behaviors from. They're just not objective. I am a fan of seeking counseling from a psychologist, or
Professional
a
counselors.
professional, someone who doesn't really know you, someone who cannot form opinions about you prior to even dealing with your case, someone who will listen to both sides, and someone who won't use any of what you are saying against you later on. You understand? So I'm not really a fan of families meddling. If I am to give you problems when we married, I wouldn't want you to call my family for an intervention, because just don't. Or your family. Now I feel like you guys are ganging up on me. Now I feel like they know things about me that they may not even forget or forgive me for, once you've moved on and you've forgiven me for. You understand? So I don't think that's an effective way of doing things.
I think maybe sometimes it's not that I would have called or spoke up because I wanted their intervention. Sometimes it's just to let out. But in that process, then they feel like they need to step in, And that's what we need to be careful of, because sometimes we are just letting out, maybe because this person has always been your confidant. And now when you feel like, I don't know, what's the next move and so on, in our relationship, because, I'm having this problem, blah, blah, blah. Then they feel like, so sometimes even if they don't intervene, the problem that I have is how they could possibly end up forming a new opinion or perception, about you. Silently, without even saying, hi, just them being quiet and listening and saying, I think Simpio is not who I think she was.
I think Simpio is not right for our son.
Exactly. So later on, when something happens, it's like, based on I've been always letting out. They didn't say anything. They were not intervening. But it's like, yeah, no, we've always seen this thing. You get it?
Yeah.
So, and maybe at that time, it's not even an issue that needs such an approach. It's not even a big issue like that. But because there's been things prior that I've been mentioning, and happy sometimes I'm even mentioning them from my own perspective, not even probably showing all there is, in that picture, for them to even probably make that objective opinion of what's happening and so on. So they've always had this side that I always show and tell. And from that, they could form an opinion that later on you could feel like the treatment is not the same. This hostility, there's, this thing of... And also another thing beyond, or to add to one of the problematic things with that, and I would say oversharing, is that when you finally know why they think that about you, will you trust me around my own family or around those people? Because now you understand that, the reason why they were off, or the reason why he or she said that is because all along
this guy told them this.
So I doubt that you would have, you would trust me.
So the issue of trust, it's important that you're bringing it up, because that's exactly what it does. If you find out now that I told my friends, because these things somehow they're able to just, creep up, and you're able to even sense them, to say, no man, this friend of yours is now talking to me in a funny way, as though they know something that's happening, So they affect trust. They really affect trust, because I will always feel like you cannot protect me. Or things that are happening between us, you are going to go and share them with your friends or with your family, type of thing. But at the same time, babe, I feel like it's important for us to not put a black and white thing or a it's a final thing that you don't talk about our issues to anyone, because that can be problematic, especially with people who are, number one, in abusive relationships where Motusha Leone, not reaching help, not opening up to people who can help them, Sometimes our friends also go through situations that we've been through before, and you know that you can provide counsel or advice because you've been through a similar situation. So you are even the best person or the safest person your friend can open up to, and for you to say, no, actually we've had a similar experience. Yes, I might not have told you at the time when it was occurring. You just have to be careful not to disclose all the details of that situation. And by bringing this up, I'm saying that sometimes it's necessary for you to bring issues up, but filter them a bit because of the person who is receiving this thing that you're bringing up, and because of your own foresight that you're able to say, outside the situation that I'm dealing with in the future, this must not affect my relationship, and therefore to protect my relationship, I'm gonna filter things that I'm gonna tell her, to say that we've been through a similar situation without disclosing certain details. To say, no, friend, even if I'm taller, handle, with this girl, type of thing. So it's important for us to be not smart about it, but
I think the word that you've already used is to have foresight. To think of the possible implications, or effects of disclosing that much. So every situation is different, and you need to have that so that it guides you about how much to reveal, or to say.
Yes, and linked to that, having foresight when it comes to like situations where I can be able to say, no, I understand. It's also a person being smart or wise enough to choose who they are going to disclose certain things.
Yeah, confiding.
Family is not a blanket approach situation that needs to apply there. In your family, you know that just because you're my mother, it doesn't mean you're the best person to talk to. Because I know you as a person, you understand? So I'm going to choose someone, they can be discreet and they can be objective. So you need to sift your people to say, even in your group of friends, there are friends that you go to with certain types of issues because you know that these people are not irrational people. These people are not blabbermouths that are going to use these and make an example about you to other friends. You understand? Like, be able to know your people and know that it's absolutely necessary for me to disclose. Is it absolutely necessary for me to disclose? Yeah.
As you were saying that, I'm just imagining all types of people. Like the friend who would just say, like, yeah, the other day. That was it.
And I just feel like that it's in their nature and we love them, they are our friends, but you are not going to give them too much, No,
hurry.
And other
Like,
people,
that's not what I want.
and other people, babe, Havana, like they are not able to check people like that. Within 1 month of meeting a new friend, already Sebamo jeta everything about their history, their relationship, you understand? So don't be that person.
I have a problem with that.
Don't be that trusting and that open as a person.
And I think it's a woman thing. Honestly,
I don't think so. Hey,
I think it's a woman thing. Like, guys, I've been observing, right, for a long time, obviously, because I'm old. Well, not old, but I'm an adult in my 30s. So I've been observing throughout the years that women would meet in a taxi, on a queue, does not matter where. And the conversation starts, hello, and within 5 minutes, it's about her man. Monna, what's an nawaka? Fast this all, like, you know. And with guys, we like to keep things, I think, based on my experience and observations, we like to keep things on the surface, you know. For a while, it's gonna take. I mean, there are guys who are, you know, willing to you know, say whatever and speak out and whatever. Same time, some guys, they don't. They are like that. They could, you know, they don't really have that thing of, I'm not gonna speak up now or say something or go deep. But you'd find that the next person, they won't tell their story. Although you are disclosing, it's not like he feels like, you know, he's ready for that. So it really happens that you find guys having deep talks. That's why society likes to say, or people like to say, that men should learn to speak up. This thing of being strong and whatever, it's not helping, because maybe some end up killing and being abusive, and because they're not letting out, you know. And that's just the nature of men. But women, I think their nature is, you know. So it's not a bad thing, like you said, because at times you could find that you are in an abusive relationship, and to speak up allows you not to feel like you're alone, and nobody is clued up about what's happening in your life. And it will help you, because you might end up receiving advice that could literally, you know, save your life. So I don't think it's a bad thing, but I'm just saying, just like you said, it needs to be calculated. You know, they say if you have problems, the best person to speak to is a bartender. That guy usually doesn't know who you are.
Doesn't even
He's
care.
not gonna follow up, you know.
Yeah.
But with friends and family, it's people who are close to you. It's people who you have high and strong regards about or of.
And it's people who have an influence
Yes.
over your relationship. So whatever they say, you're gonna care.
Yeah, it holds weight,
Yeah.
you know. And so it could make at times or break, you know. I don't know what. Either the relationship, either the trust, either, you know, something could be made or break or broke, you know, from their opinions.
So yeah, guys. I think in summary, my parting shot is that let's be careful. It's important to open up when we are going through stuff. It's important to have those people that we
Voice out.
pour our hearts out. But preferably, if we are having issues, I prefer for us to deal with our own issues ourselves. Unless it's something that is beyond us and that needs an external party, which preferably should be someone who is objective, someone who is independent, and someone who is just going to give both of us an ear, you know. Yeah, let's just be careful, because even the closest of people, the closest of friends and families don't always have the best of our intentions, our interests. The
At
best
heart.
of our interests at heart. You know, there can be someone who is close. This whole time you've been thinking, hi man, this person is on my side. Can do all of those good things you were saying about your man being the best guy ever. They were hurting them, you know. They were being hurt by those people. They were being hurt, guys, by those things. And now that you are pointing out the negative, they're like, yeah, I've always known that it's too good to be true. And therefore, they feel your ideas with that whole thing that, Tremi, do you still want to be with him though? You know? So let's just be careful. Let's have foresight and let us protect our relationships.
Indlu yekakuyaneta. I won't say much, but yeah, I totally agree with that. Protect what you have, and don't let other people to really become part of your relationship. You know, let them be part of your life, but not necessarily their relationship. And the decisions that need to be made there, they should be made by you guys. You know, resolve your own issues, deal with them, and there's no need at times to seek for help outside if one of you guys are not even looking for that. It's just not gonna work. You know. It's even gonna make things to to go south fast, because I'm gonna feel like now you've brought these people, you know. So be careful, you know, how much you share and what you share.
Yeah.
You know.
Yep. Let us know down below what you think about this topic. Are you for disclosing, oversharing? What are some of your experiences? We are interested to know that. And yeah, let us engage down in the comment sections, in the comment section below. And yeah, let's keep the conversation going.
Yep. Maybe we were wrong. Who knows?
Yeah, maybe we are wrong. Who
Yeah.
knows? Anyway, thank you guys so much for watching today's episode, and we will see you in the next one.
Hit that like and subscribe button. See you.
Sharp.